This video is entitled on the subject matter of deity worship. According to the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, Arjuna inquired from Krishna, "So which are considered to be more perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested feature of the Absolute Truth?" The Supreme Personality of Godhead thus replied to Arjuna, "Those who fix their minds on my personal form and who are always engaged in worshiping me with great and transcendental faith are thus considered by me to be most perfect." Śrīla Prabhupāda comments that especially in this age of Kali, the process of Sankirtan, or chanting alone, is sufficient. And if the members of the temples in ISKCON throughout different parts of the world simply continue this Sankirtan, or congregational chanting before the deity, especially before the deity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then they will remain perfect, and there is no need of any other performances. But nevertheless, just to keep oneself clean in habits of body and mind, deity worship and other regulative principles are required. Srila Jiva Goswami says that although Sankirtan is sufficient for the perfection of life, the archana, or worship of the deity in the temple, must continue in order that the devotees remain pure and clean. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur therefore recommends that one follow both processes simultaneously, and therefore in ISKCON, strictly it is followed the principle of performing deity worship and the performance of Sankirtan, or congregational chanting, goes along parallel lines. In the Uddhava Gita section of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna instructs, "My dear Uddhava, the deity form of the Lord is said to appear in 8 varieties: stone, wood, metal, earth, paint, sand, the mind, or jewels. The deity form of the Lord, who is the shelter of all living entities, can be established in 2 ways, temporarily or permanently. But a permanent deity, having been called, can never be sent away. O my dear Uddhava, one should worship me in my deity forms by offering the most excellent paraphernalia. In worshiping the deity, bathing and decoration are the most pleasing of offerings. Even very opulent presentations do not satisfy me if they are offered by non-devotees. But I am pleased by any insignificant offering made by my loving devotees, and I am certainly most pleased when nice presentations of fragrant oil, incense, flowers, and palatable foods are offered with love. If the deity is fixed in one place, one should sit directly facing the deity. One should then chant quietly the Mula Mantra for the particular deity of the Lord, remembering that the Absolute Truth, as the Supreme Personality, Narayana. The devotee should offer homage to the Lord with all kinds of hymns and prayers, both from the Puranas and from other ancient scriptures, or also from ordinary traditions. Thus praying, O Lord, please be merciful to me. One should fall down flat like a rod to offer obeisances, placing one's head at the feet of the deity. One should then stand with folded hands before the Lord and pray. O my Lord, please protect me, for I am surrendered unto you, and I am most fearful of this ocean of material existence, standing as I am in the mouth of death. Whenever one develops faith in me, in my form as the deity, or in other bona fide manifestations, one should worship me in that form. Certainly I exist both within all created beings and also separately in my original form, since I am the Supreme Soul of all. The following are excerpts from a lecture Srila Prabhupada gave July 16, 1969, when he installed the Rukmini Dwarakanath deities in Los Angeles, California. Today, this function of installing deity, this is authorized. Just like several times I have given the example that when you put your mail in a box in the street, because it is written there, U.S. mail, you know that it is authorized box. And if you put your letters within this box, it will surely reach the destination. Posting your letter in the post office will thus work. So, there is no difference between the huge post office building and that small box, because it is authorized. And so similarly, the difference between idol worship and deity worship is like that. Unless the authorized process is accepted, it is idol worship. And that is the general rule. If somebody thinks, oh, there is a box red and blue on the street, why shall I go to that box? Let me have a similar box at my door, and it will be cleared by the postman because it is red and blue. But that will not be so, because the box which you put at your door, that is not authorized. And so similarly, we have to worship the deity according to the authorized system. Just like in our Gaudiya Sampradaya, there is authorized system by the Goswamis. And there is a big book which is called Hari Bhakti Vilas. So everything is stated there, how the Vaishnava family should have all their functions. It is called Vaishnava Smriti. Shruti and Smriti. So we have to follow this regulation of the Shruti, Vedas, and Smriti. Smriti means derived from the Vedas. Srila Rupa Goswami says, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatriki Vidhing Vina Aikantiki Harer Bhaktir Utpatayaiva Kalpate. Without following the rules and regulations of Vedic injunctions, without reference to the regulative principles mentioned in the different Smritis, without reference to the Puranas, and without reference to the Pancharatriki Vidhi, then it is not authorized. The Pancharatriki Vidhi means it is a special concession for this age. Vaidika Vidhi and Pancharatrika Vidhi. Vaidika Vidhi is very authorized, but this Vaidika Vidhi is especially meant for those who are highly elevated brahmanas. In this age, it is to be accepted as a fact, according to the Shastras. Kalau Sudra Sambhava. In this age, nobody is actually bona fide Brahmana by birth alone. Formerly, they used to be. The family tradition, the Garbhadan system, the samskars were strictly followed. And therefore, a son born of a Brahmana father was accepted as a Brahmana. Not immediately, but going through the process. But in this age, because it is very difficult to find out a person who is born of a qualified Brahmana, therefore Narada Pancharatra is there. So the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami especially recommends Pancharatra ki vidhing vina. So either you follow Vaidika Vidhi and the Pancharatrika Vidhi. Just like we are introducing in this temple for worshipping the deity. But actually, the deity can be worshipped only by bona fide Brahmanas. And so Krishna consciousness is so nice that it opens the door of highest perfectional platform for everyone, provided he or she follows the rules and regulations. That is all that is required. And that is the only condition. Otherwise, if we simply imitate, that will not do. So do not try to imitate. Just follow the simple rules and regulations. It is very nice. And above all, chant Hare Krishna, and you will become purified. For without being purified, you cannot touch Radha and Krishna. In the Vedas, it is stated, without becoming Brahman, you cannot approach the Supreme Brahman. Just like without becoming fire, you cannot approach fire. Because the inconsistency of temperature, it will burn. Just like here, there is fire, and I am feeling the temperature. But the flames within the fire, they do not feel because the temperature is the same. So similarly, without becoming Brahman, without understanding oneself or realizing oneself, nobody can realize Krishna. Arjuna uvacha parang brahma parang dhamma pavitrang paramang bhavan purushang shasvatang divyam adi devam ajang vibhum. Therefore, one has to keep oneself very purified. Otherwise, you cannot touch Krishna. That is not possible. It is fire, so you have to become fire. And how to become fire? You are also fire, but now you are covered fire, covered by your material body. And therefore, you have to spiritualize your body by the purificatory process. So the same example, just like the iron rod, it is iron, but if you put into the fire, it becomes warm, warmer, warmer, then red hot, then it is fire. Similarly, by this process, chanting process, by regulative process, you are becoming warmer, warmer, warmer. And when you become fully red hot warm, then your body will be as good as Krishna's body. So we have to keep ourselves always in the fire of Krishna consciousness. Then everything will be all right. Otherwise, it will become dull, and it will simply be idol worship. That is all. That is the difference between idol worship and deity worship. If there is no life, then it is idol worship or hedonism. But when there is life, when there is feeling, where is Krishna? Here is Krishna. I have to serve Krishna. I have to dress him. I have to serve Radharani, for she is here. I must do it very nicely, and as far as possible, decorate her to the best capacity. In this way, if you always feel Krishna conscious, then you are fire. The same example, keeping with the fire. So if you think it is a brass-made doll, I mean to say, idol, if you think that this is a brass-made idol, then it will remain a brass-made idol to you forever. But if you elevate yourself to the higher platform of Krishna consciousness, then Krishna, this Krishna, will talk with you. This Krishna will talk with you. There is the story of Vangshidas Babaji Maharaj. He was talking with his deity. And just like also Madan Mohan, Krishna was talking with Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami at that time had no temple, so he was hanging his deity on the tree. And so Madana Mohan was talking with him. Sanatan, you are bringing me all these dry chapatis, and they are stale. And you don't even give me a little salt even. So how can I eat? Dear sir, where shall I go? For whatever I get, I offer you. So you kindly accept, for I cannot move. I am an old man. So you see, Krishna had to eat because the bhakta is offering Krishna, and Krishna cannot refuse. Patrang pushpang phalang toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tad ahang bhakyu paritam ashnami prayatatmanaha. The real thing is bhakti. What can you offer to Krishna? Because everything belongs to Krishna. So what have you got? What is your value? And what is the value of your things? It is nothing. Therefore, the real thing is bhaktya. The real thing is your feeling. Krishna, kindly take this. I have no qualification, and I am most rotten, most fallen. But I have brought this thing for you, so you please take it. And this will be accepted. So don't be puffed up. Always be careful. You are dealing with Krishna. That is my request. So this deity worship in the temple means worshiping Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And He is Akhilatma Bhuta. So where shall you find Him? Because He's everywhere. Therefore, Krishna has very kindly accepted to assume a form which you can handle. This form of Krishna, the atheist will say that here is a form made of marble. How is it that they are worshiping God, Krishna? So that is the atheist view. But from the Shastra we understand, Krishna, if He is within the atom, then why not within the marble? It is simply a matter of understanding. Not only within the marble itself, but the marble is also Krishna. Because the Bhagavad Gita we understand. Bhumir apanalo vayu, kang mano buddhir evacha. These material elements, earth, water, fire, air, they are Krishna's energy. Krishna says, Biname prakritir ashtadha. They are my energies, my separated energies. So even if you consider that here is not Krishna, but rather a marble statue, no, that marble statue is also Krishna, because marble is also Krishna. And Krishna being omnipotent, even if you say that it is a marble statue, still Krishna is so powerful that He can accept your service even through this so-called marble. Actually, it is not marble. Or from spiritual vision, everything being Krishna, so Krishna can accept your service even through the marble, even through the water, even through the fire. Why not? It is Krishna's energy. Just like if you come to the sunshine, it is the energy of the sun. And so in that way, you immediately touch the sun globe. Is it not? Because the beams are coming from the sun globe, as soon as you touch the sunbeam, you touch the sun immediately. And there are also yogis who can reach the sun planet through the beams of the sun. So therefore, do not think that we have installed a marble statue. The rascals will say, "Oh, they are all heathens." No, we are worshiping Krishna personally. Krishna personally. Krishna has kindly assumed this form. Just because we cannot see Krishna right now as he is, we cannot see the gigantic Krishna or how Krishna is everywhere. Our imperfect senses cannot see Krishna immediately, but Krishna is so kind. But as we can see stone, we can see wood, we can see earth, we can see water, we can see color. Therefore, Krishna comes before us just quite suitable for our vision. But still, he is Krishna. So this deity worship, and those who are in charge of deity worship, should never think that here is a statue. No, here is Krishna. And so the honor, the respect, everything is done with great honor. You must always think that here is Krishna personally. Do not think it is a statue. Krishna is personally present. So you should honor and think also, and be cautious, so that you may not commit offense. Krishna worship, if you neglect the process, then it will be offensive. There are 64 kinds of offenses, and you have seen it in the nectar of devotion. So you should be very much clean. First thing is, cleanliness is next to godliness. You should be very much clean. Rise early in the morning, take your bath, and perform Mangala Aratrik, then chant Hare Krishna mantra, then read the scriptures. In this way, remain 24 hours engaged in Krishna's service. This is the purpose of installing the deity. Not that after a few days you think it is a burden. No, then it will be a great offense. It is not burden. It is a great opportunity to serve Krishna. Just as the gopis are serving in Goloka Vrindavan, so Krishna is so kind. Krishna has come here to accept your service in a manner in which you can handle him. You can dress Krishna, you can offer prasad, you can chant his glory. In this way, always remain engaged in Krishna consciousness, and gradually you will find out how you are advancing in spiritual life. And when the deity is installed, it is called Niyama Seva. That means this routine seva or service prescribed after installation that you cannot stop. And another thing, Radha Krishna is worshipped in Vrindavan, which is like a simple village. But we worship Lakshmi Narayan, and the worship is accepted by the Radha Krishna deity. Actually, in our present status, we cannot worship Radha and Krishna. But as all the Vishnu Murtis are situated in Krishna, therefore our Radha Krishna worship is transferred to Vishnu or Lord Narayan. Vishnu worship is the regulative devotional principles, and Radha and Krishna worship is spontaneous service of eternal feelings. Therefore, as Lakshmi Narayan is the deity of great opulence, similarly our Radha Krishna Murtis also should be worshipped with great pomp and dignity. Atak Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grayam indriyai sevon muke hi jivadao swayam eva sparat yada. Therefore, because we have blunt material gross senses, we cannot understand Krishna. We cannot understand his name, fame, form, qualities, pastimes, entourage, etc. with blunt material senses. However, with your present material senses, if you engage in the service of Krishna, and this begins with the tongue, then gradually Krishna will reveal himself little by little directly to you. The service begins with the tongue. With the tongue, we do two things. The tongue wants to taste, and the tongue wants to vibrate. So, we use the tongue to describe Krishna, to sing Krishna, to chant Krishna. We engage the tongue in Sankirtan, complete glorification of Krishna's name, fame, form, pastimes, and entourage. And then, in order to satisfy the proclivity of the tongue to want to taste so many different things, we allow the tongue to taste Krishna Prasad, food that is first offered to Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.